Hello guys, in this video we are going to learn how to design shapes using Figma. It is imperative to note that this is a beginner friendly tutorial, so if you never designed anything before now, you can be rest assured to get value for your time watching this video. To design anything on Figma, you have to first log into your Figma account, that is if you have one, or you create an account if you do not have. I already shared a step-to-step guide on that, so you can click the link in my description below to access that. So now let's dive right into today's tutorial. So this is my Figma dashboard because I already have a Figma account, obviously. So I'm going to click on a file. I already created a file. That is also in my previous video, so you can go on and check that. So yeah, I already have the shapes here. So what I'm going to do now is to create these shapes for you from scratch so that you can to create yours too as well. So now to create shapes in Figma, we have tools in the panel. You can see these tools here where my cursor is on. These are the tools we are going to be using to create shape, especially this one, this rectangle. The way I'm hovering on it, you can see that we have a text coming up saying rectangle. So you can just click on this drop down, the drop down beside this rectangle. It says shape tools. So whenever you want to create a shape, you just go to this shape tools, you click on the drop down, and you can see we have rectangle, we have line, we have arrow, we have ellipse, we have polygon, we have star under the shape tools. So let's say we want to create a rectangle. What do? You just click on this drop down, you click on this rectangle, you see a plus sign, you can see. So you hold your mouse or your cursor and drag, and this is your rectangle here, you can see. So if you want to create a line shape, you can see the second one says line, the same way you created your rectangle. So you are going to hold the plus, you can see the plus sign, you hold your mouse or your trackpad, you hold and you drag, and this is how you get your line. You can see this is the line. Let me zoom in very well so that you can see it. So this is the line. So let's say you want to create an arrow, you still come back to this shape tools, the drop down, you click it and it comes up, you click on arrow, you do the same thing, you hold and then you drag. Yes, you can see. Now the difference between the line and the arrow obviously is because of this arrow shape. Line doesn't have this kind of arrow shape, it's just a straight line, while this arrow has this shape at the bottom, or wherever you want to put it. You can click it, you can tweak it anyhow you want to tweak it. You can make the line have this arrow at the top, you can make it have both at the bottom and at the top, anyhow you want it. You can configure it anyhow you want. So now the next shape to draw here is ellipse. This ellipse is another word we use for circle in Figma. So instead of circle, Figma uses ellipse. So yeah, I just clicked on it and you can see the plus sign, you hold and then you drag, then yes, your circle is ready. You can make it to be a rounded circle, anyhow you want it. You can configure it anyhow you want it. Now the next shape is polygon. The polygon is more like a triangle, so you can see. So this is what Figma call polygon. It is basically a triangle which can also be modified into a polygon depending on how you want to configure it, depending on what you are trying to design. Now the next shape is star shape. So you just hold and then you drag. So now you can see that we've been able to create 1 2 3 4 5 6. We've been able to create 6 shapes using our shape tool. So do not forget, whenever you want to create your shape, you come to the shape tool. This is the shape tool. You click on this drop down and you are going to see the list of your shapes. Now, the last shape you used on this shape tool will be the one to appear here. Do you understand? If you remember at the beginning of this tutorial, when we were about creating our shapes, we had rectangle here. That was because the last shape that I designed on my Figma file was a rectangle, and that was why I had a rectangle here. And by default, we have the rectangle here because the rectangle is the top on the list, and that is why we usually have a rectangle here. But here is the shape tool, and any shape that is here is still representing the shape tool. So you can click the drop down beside the shape tool and you will see the list of shapes that are there. So you can pick from one of these shapes, or you pick from in fact you can use everything. So I'm going to, apart from creating shapes, I'm going to show you how to add colors to your shapes. I'm going to show you how to select your shapes. Let's say I want to add color blue to my rectangle. How do I do that? So what you do is to select your rectangle which you would like to add color to. So this is my rectangle, obviously. So I'm going to select. How do I select? This is my cursor. This is my cursor moving around. So how do I select? You just go on top of the shape or whatever you want to select, go on top of it and just click. It has been selected. How do you know a shape or something has been selected on Figma? When the entity has this blue line, you can see this blue line round it, that means it is selected. And you have this circle, this 4 little circles you can see on the shapes. That means that shape has been selected. Because I'm hovering around rectangle, that is why I'm having this circle shape. And what the circle shape means is that is asking me if I want to add a rounded corner to my rectangle. You can see while I'm hovering on it, you can see this text that says radius 0, means that I do not have any radius around the corners of my rectangle, and that is why the radius is 0. So I can actually drag this small circle to create a radius around my rectangle. So let's do that now. You can see how I'm dragging it, trying to round the corners of my rectangle. So you can see how that is working out. So yes, I just explained selection and adding radius to your rectangles, anyhow you want to put it. So yeah, after selecting it, I want to add my colors. That is the reason why I'm here. I want to add color. I want to add color blue to this rectangle. So what do? I've selected my rectangle. So the next thing is go to this panel here. So you can see this fill, where they wrote fill here. This fill here means color that is filling inside of this rectangle. That is the meaning of fill. So the fill, the color inside the rectangle here is this D9 color code, which is a gray color. So now I want to change it to a blue color. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know my color code, so I'm just going to click on this little box here showing us the color. This is like a graphical representation of the D9 color. So I'm just going to click on this little box here, and I'm going to, you can see this is red. I'm going to move this to my blue color. This is the blue shade. So yeah, I just gave it, this is my blue color, this is the blue color I want. So yes, you can see I just gave my rectangle a blue color. So same thing goes for my circle. You want to add color, let me add color yellow to this circle. Same thing, you go to the fill, you click on it, then you find your way around the colors that we have here. Then you go to your color yellow. I think this should be yellow. This is looking like golden yellow. Okay, I think this is yellow enough. So yes, I want to add yellow to my circle or my ellipse. So you can see that we have yellow in our circle shape. Now these are the ways you can add color irrespective of the shapes that you are making use of. You can add colors. In fact, you can add colors to your text, you can add colors to anything you want. This is the same way to add color to anything you want to add color to. Just click on it and go to this fill here and change the color. Shikena, that is just it. So now I'm going to teach you how to size your shape to any size you want. Let's say I want to create a very big rectangle. I don't want it to be this small, I want it to be very, very large. The value of this rectangle in our panel here, so you can see this is the layout. The value will always be under layout. So you have the width, which is 247, and we have the height, which is 215. So yeah, what I want to do rather is to enlarge my rectangle. I want to make it bigger than this. So let's say, okay, I'm looking at the value of let's say 800 to 800. I want a square shape, because square shape is when all four sides are equal. So I want to create a square shape that has of 800 on all four sides. I can just go to my layout, I'll enter the value that I want. Now I want 800 to 800. That is 800 width and 800 height. I just entered my width to be 800 and I'm entering my height to be 800. So you can see that I have a bigger rectangle compared to what I had before now. So that is how to give values to your shapes. So same thing with my circle. Okay, let me work with my triangle. So with my triangle, I want to make the value of my triangle is 318, width 318, height 398. So I want to make my triangle to be I want to make it 400 by 400. Now I'm going to just enter that there, and yes, we have 400 by 400. If you click it, you can see that the layout says 400 by 400. That is the size of the triangle. So now this triangle, you know, if you remember when we first created this triangle, I said something about triangle not called triangle in Figma. It is called polygon. And why is it called polygon? Is because from triangle you can actually create more angles from triangle, which is what is called polygon. If you know your mathematics very well, you would understand what I'm trying to say. So now, to increase your sides, you want to increase your sides to fit into a polygon shape. You don't want a triangular shape. Maybe you want a polygon, you want an hexagon, you want I don't know, it's only polygon and hexagon I know, but you want whatever gun you want. An octagon, yes. So whatever gun you want, you can always increase the sound of the sides. You are just going to click on this robo here, these dots here. You just click on it and then you drag it up. You can see how it's changing. You can see how the count is increasing, and if you want it to increase, you take it up, but if you want it to reduce, you take it down. You can see. So right now we have 4 counts. We have right now we have 3 counts, which is the triangle. This is the 4 counts, which is this is the diamond shape, or well, is it kite? I think this is kite. Then you take it up 5. This is 5. I think this is polygon, I think. Then this is 6, this is 7, this is 8, this is 9, this is 10. So you can take it up to 60, I think. Yes, you can take it up to, I think 60 is like when everything is perfectly rounded. Highest you can find, let me zoom in properly. I think the highest here is 20 of the guns. So yes, so I just showed you how to increase your polygon. So yeah, the next thing I'm going to talk about here is the lines. The lines as well. You can see that this line is very, very, very slim. It's very, very thin. So if you are designing and you want a thicker line, you want your line to have more weight than this, you don't want it to be this thin or this slim, so you can just select it. Meanwhile, whenever you want to add feature to a particular entity on Figma, be it your text, your image, your shapes, your whatever you want to add value, or you want to add features to, you want to add color, you want to, whatever you want to add to anything, you have to first select that entity first. If you do not select, then nothing is going to work. You can see nothing is selected here, and I can't, my panels are not open. That is because I do not have anything selected yet. But the instant you have something selected like this, then something is going to come up on your panel. So do you understand that? So now what I'm going to do is to select my lines, because I want to add more weight to it. I want my line to have weight. I don't want it to be this slim. So now I'm just going to select it. When you select, you go to this stroke feature. This is it. This is where you add your settings, where you add settings to your stroke. By default, it has a color white, which is FFFFF. Let me change the color to color green. Let me change to color green, so you can see the color has been changed. You can change your color, the color of your lines to any color you want. So now I'm going to select, it is changed to color green. I want to increase the weight of my line. So yeah, I'm going to go to here. This is the count. You can see we have 1. So it's because we have 1, we have it set to 1. That is why it is this slim. So I'm just going to set it to, let's say I want to set it to 10. So you can see how fat it looks now, how thick it looks compared to how it looked before now. So yes, I've just added more weight to my line. Now the line as well, you can make your line, apart from adding this kind of arrows to your lines from here, apart from setting your arrow from here, you can actually convert your line, like your normal line that doesn't have arrow. By default, you can convert it to a kind of line that has arrow. How do you do that? Let me show you. Just click on the line, configure your whole line. So you click, this is the start point. How do you want the top here? How do you want the top to look like? So here we have, by default, we have none. You can see that is why we have nothing on the top and the bottom. So you just click on that is the top. So I want my line to have this arrow at the top. So you can see, if I click it, you can see this is the arrow that we have at the top. So now I want my line to have a triangle at the top. So now you can see, I just clicked on it. So you can play around these things. If you want it to have a reverse triangle, you can click it. You want a circle arrow at the top, you can click it. Diamond arrow, you can click. You want the top, you want your line to have a rounded top like this. You can see how the top is rounded as opposed to here. You can see. So you can create, you can set it anyhow you want. You can configure it anyhow you want. You want it to be square just like it was, you can do it this way. So, and now let's go to the end point. The end point of the arrow, you want it to have line, you want it to have arrow at the bottom you want it to have triangle, at the bottom you want a reverse triangle, and so on and so forth. So you can just play around these things, and that is how you set your lines. And even your arrow lines as well, you can set it the same way. You can change the color, you can play around these things. In fact, you can make the top have a circle, what's it called, a circle shape, while the bottom we have this kind of shape. You can see, so you can play around it in several ways possible. Let's now go to our star shape. We all know that stars have 5 sides, like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in a situation where you want your star to have more than 5 sides, what do? You can just increase the size, and this is where you have it. So when you're over on this dots here, this little small circle here, you see a text that says count 5. That means it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So what do you want to do? You want to increase the size. Maybe I want to increase the count of this side. I want to increase it to like 10. So what do? You just move it up, so you can see how it's increasing. So I have 10 like this. You can see how it's increasing. If you want to decrease it, you want it to have, maybe you want it to have 4, just like this. I think this is kite. This is more like kite, yes. So it can be like this as well. I think you can have it in 3 too, in 3 counts. I think 3 is the lowest you can go. So I don't know if it has highest, but I think the highest is like 60. So you can see how it's looking. And this shape is so fine. You can use this shape for so many graphic stuff. It makes a lot of sense. It looks cool. So yes, you can see. How did we get here? We got here from our simple kite. So you can see. So these are the things that you can do with Figma. Then you might want to add corner radius, just like we added to this rectangle earlier on. You can add a rounded corners to it, so you can see how it's looking. So I just rounded the corners. You can see how it's looking. Then this ratio here, you can also increase the ratio or reduce the ratio. What does the ratio do? Inside here, it makes it bigger and it makes it smaller depending on how you want it. So you can see how it's becoming bigger and it's going down. So yes, by the end of this video, I hope you've been able to learn 1 or 2 things about shapes, how to add colors to your shape, how to create shapes on Figma, how to configure your shapes. So thank you very much for staying to the end of this tutorial. See you in my next video. Bye.